welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Serpent. And if you do enjoy the videos, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to kick off straight away with a video that I want you guys to hear. It's an important lesson. It's an important lesson that I want you guys to understand about what is coming in the future. But check this out and then let's get on with the show.
I do believe that there will be, continued multiple chains, but I don't sort of envision that there are going to be 58 chains, all of which have extremely heavy global usage, and everyone is sort of flipping a coin between, or rolling a 58-sided die every time they want to launch a project, or that people are like, oh, you want chain number 38 because you're building in this sector. I sort of think that's too many for a stable equilibrium. And so I'm sort of imagining 4 is more like the number of chains we're likely to see get really significant adoption in the end. And I don't know necessarily what 4 of those will be, but I think it's more likely to be single digits than double digits. I think that basically there's just huge network effects from being on the same chain.
Now, why did I play that for you? And why did I play that right at the beginning of the video? Well, none of you, most of you don't stay for the entire video. And from an analytics point of view, I know that some of you stay for the first 5 minutes and then skip to the end and then you're out of here. You don't actually watch the whole thing. Now, why are we kicking off with that? Well, at the moment, there are many blockchains, right? We are in the 90s of the crypto era. But there will be, like he said, probably only 4 left at the end of this, which will rule them all. It means that short term, you're fine. But long term, you need to decide which ones are going to be the ones. Now, what am I talking about? I'll give it to you in a mobile phone analogy. Majority of people out there have an Apple or have a Samsung. Some have an Huawei. And others, to be honest, I don't really even know which one is the 4th one. Google phone, right? Let's say Google phone. But back in the day, there were many manufacturers. You had your Sony Ericssons, you had your Nokia, you had all sorts of different types. But then, in the future, as things evolved, 2 came out on top and dominate the entire market. Do you see now with cryptocurrency where this is heading and why it's important? Now, is Ripple going to be one of those 4? Hell yeah, it's going to be one of those 4. And it's not just going to be one of the 4. It will be the one. Now, this is long term. We're not talking today. We're not talking tomorrow. I'm not saying that tomorrow Ripple will flip Bitcoin and Ethereum. And again, it's not financial advice and I'm not a financial advisor. But if you play this back in 4 or 5 years from now, you'll see Ripple number 1. And there will be another 3 to 4 other major blockchains. And then there will be other things. What those things are, we don't know yet. But be very mindful of what you hold. Because ultimately, when the dust settles, in a few years' time, there will only be 4 or 5. So make sure that you got that long-term mindset. Now, obviously, we heard a couple of weeks back about Ripple continuing to build momentum in MENA with first on-demand liquidity deployment in Middle East. It is big news. It is very, very important. The Middle East will play a major role. Ripple stated why Europe's fintech regulatory approach is world leading. So Ripple came out and said how Europe is approaching crypto should be the standard worldwide. And make no mistake about it, countries like America, Australia that are moving very, very slow in the adoption phase will pay the price. Huge. Now, a crypto analyst has said that Ripple, XRP, to surpass Solana, USDT, and other in market cap, which essentially means to go number 3. And for this bull run, number 3, maybe number 2, you know, depending on how we go with the SEC case. It's not out of the question. And again, one person's opinion, not financial advice. And please go and do your own homework when it comes to things like this. It's very, very important that you do. Very, very, very important. We're seeing all types of suggestions and things spoken of. Now, NASDAQ have come out saying 2 top cryptocurrencies to buy for the long haul. This was yesterday. Ripple, XRP, and ADA. They're the 2 recommendations by NASDAQ. We're not talking about crypto serpent. We're talking about NASDAQ. They have just said, just buy those 2 and hold long term. That's what they're saying. That is literally, you know, like they're literally spelling it out. They've picked out of everyone. They said, just get those 2 and hold them long term. And one thing that I do want to reach out to you guys, I see in the comments sometimes, you know, hey, you haven't done a video on Xcoin in a while. Now, just because somebody like myself doesn't make a video on something doesn't mean that my opinion of it has changed. What it tells me is that your mindset around it is very much, oh, do I hold this? Do I not hold this? You need to start to build a long-term mindset, because me not posting about something should have no impact on you holding that. Whether it's VeChain, Zilliqa, Polkadot, all of them. Right? I've done hundreds of hours of research. I sleep like a baby. Ripple went to 20 cents tomorrow, I would sleep like a baby. If all of them dropped by 80% tomorrow, I would sleep like a baby, because I know what I hold. What it tells me is that you need to do your homework. Please do your homework on what you hold. Now, the XRP price prediction on how much Ripple crypto could be worth, right? So if you go on inews.co.uk, this guy, Alex Finnis, reckons that we can get to $2 by the end of next year. Now, I don't know who this guy is, but anybody who reads this would be like, oh wow, only $2 by the end of next year? I want to get Ripple. Then you go on someone like NASDAQ and how they talk about it, and then you look at all the other major true crypto analysts that talk about XRP, and you hear a different story. What I'm saying is that everyone has their own opinion. You ultimately need to make your own opinion. Whether I post about a currency or not should have zero impact on how you feel about that currency. And what it tells me is that you yourself need to do more research on it. Now, of course, we'll talk about price levels, key pivot levels. 123 will be a major important point. So we'll talk about all that today. Now, this I found pretty concerning, right? Crypto is now banned for Muslims, according to Indonesian Religious Council. What? What are we doing? Right? We're going to make this a religious thing? Like, I don't understand what's happened there. I find it absolutely ridiculous that this has even happened. And I will be keeping an eye on, you know, if there's any more nations that try and make something like this regulatory, right? It is disgusting to hear such a thing. Like, everyone on earth should have crypto, regardless of where you're from and who you are, whether you've ever held a bank account or not in Africa, all the way to Times Square, New York. Everyone on earth should have the right to hold a crypto wallet. Now, 140 million XRP have been moved, while someone purchases 14 million coins from Binance. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now, the SEC Commissioner released a statement on crypto, says DeFi presents wide array of opportunities. Now, I don't know what is going on over there or who runs the show. It just seems to be a different story every day. Make up your mind, SEC. Now, this is very, very interesting. This is very, very, very interesting. The graph that I'm showing you right now. The Bank of International Settlements. The Bank of International Settlements have Ripple in their plan. This is the Bank of International transactions. Still worried about what you hold? Again, do your research, please. And we'll talk about prices today, I promise. But let's jump into a tiny first. Let's have a look at some indicators. Okay, so as we begin to look at the charts, we're looking in particular at the moment, focusing on the daily. Now, when we look at the daily at the moment, we'll see the kind of patterns that we're making. And, sitting at $1.20, 1.2%, 1.27% down for the day. We look at the MACD on the daily, sitting on bullish. Now, when we look at the hourly, from an hourly perspective, you can see that, we're still well within the Bollinger Band, and the hourly is just about to step into a bearish cycle. But at the moment, it's going to be in this window until we get the next kickoff. You can tell by the 4 hour, you can see that the RSI is sitting towards the bottom. The MACD is sitting on bearish. When I look at the 12 hour, the 12 hour has gone into bearish mode. And so we could, be touching again 118s, somewhere around there. And then from that 118, like you can see that's where it was right there. So we could be touching 118 again, maybe even a little bit lower in like somewhere around the 17.14, and then we'll kick off again. How quickly that can happen? It's when it does happen pretty quick, and we'll go into that 133 again, which we saw temporarily. We got very, very excited, and then it got taken away from us within a couple of hours. So that's probably the key takeaways to take from this. But let's have a look at some drawings about what to expect. So really the key points that we have at the moment is this window that we're in. The new price level of 120 is steadily forming resistance. And that is very, very exciting. So if we have very strong support between 120 and 118 and hold, then we will be set for our takeoff towards 140s and beyond. And remember that line that we broke, we still haven't, gone back inside. So it is a clear break, and now we're just simply waiting for the next wave, which will take us, to what we've discussed over the last couple of episodes. But whichever way I look at it, it is looking set for that bullish momentum to continue. And so this action, for those of you that are new, that are thinking about potentially getting in, is a great time, because you still have time. Now, if you're a holder, you simply hold, because what's coming is going to be legendary, absolutely legendary. So we could see a little bit more price drop, and then we go to 140, and then we begin our roadmap like we've had the roadmap all along: 140, 168, 198, 220, go to 350, break previous all-time high, but consolidate a little bit, 450, and then from there, a little consolidation, and we begin the journey towards double digits. Now, if you learned something new today, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thank you, and I look forward to see you on the next one.